one of my cancerous problems when it comes to my brain is that I tend to get invested in things really quickly. I tend to lack a lot of focus on able to like start and like hone in on one project because my brain tends to wander and get interested in a lot of different things. On top of the already cornucopia of things it's interested in. I'm interested in animation, 2D animation, 3D animation, stop motion animation, illustration, graphic design, vector design, branding, advertising, business, video making, post-production. Like, I'm the kind of guy that if I could do everything, I would. You know, I would learn everything. If I could, like, build my own computer from scratch, like, as in terms of, like, creating all the silicon that goes into it and put all that stuff together and learn how to do all that, like, I would just, there's nothing that I'm interested in. I'm not interested in anything passively. Like, if I'm interested in something, I want to learn how to do it. Not just, I can't just passively consume content. If I like something, I have to learn how to do it. The itch is always there. And the problem with that is that when you have so many different interests and so many different things you want to learn how to do, you lose focus. And it's just like, oh God, like your attention span gets really just like fucked up. And you can kind of float from one direction to another and do a bunch of different stuff. And you can never kind of focus on getting one thing done. You just kind of start little things here and there. I'm just a sponge for information and interests to my massive detriment. I know a lot of people are like that too. So what I'm going to recommend today is identifying all of your interests and then streamlining. It's super important if you want to get something done. Because despite the fact that we can tend to have a lot of different interests, there's definitely a subtle hierarchy in there, even if we're not consciously aware of it. And kind of forcing ourselves to become aware of it can help us prioritize better. So there's a simple exercise that I learned about that can help do this. And it's basically interest division. Or I've coined it interest division. Maybe somebody else has also done that. But I just came up with the term right now. Patent pending, copyright, Rebel Pixels. Interest division. How you fucking get your shit together. So what you do is you write down everything you're interested in doing. Everything. So for me, that list would be a mile long. For you, it could be like 4 or 5 things. Could be 40 or 50 things. I don't know. I'm not you. But you write down. And I tend to think writing down on paper, despite the fact that it's a bit more arduous, tends to be more effective. Because it gives you that tangible feeling. And as the process continues, it kind of feels more final in what you're doing. And that will make more sense in a few minutes as I continue to explain this. So I would suggest writing it down on paper, if you can. So write down all of your interests. And then if I had to say, you have to choose half of these. Half of them you can do. Half of them you can never do. It has to be that harsh. Half of these you can accomplish. Half of these you can never look at again. Or another way to think about it is that, let's say, in some magical land, right? You could accomplish half of your list instantly with no effort, but you would immediately die. So all of these things you could accomplish, but then like you would never have a chance ever to do anything else again. Like this is all the things you could do, but then you would die. If you want to get that extreme about it, cut the list in half. So if you have 5, bring it down to 3. If you have 10, bring it down to 5. If you have 50, bring it down to 25. That's probably more like my list. Do that. So now those half things that you've just cut off the list, like when put in extreme situations like that, you're done. Those are off the table. No, those aren't interests. I mean, they're interests, but they're also distractions because these are the things you've just deemed more important. So those are distractions, and they're banished to the shadow realm. You can never touch them again. You can be interested in, like, if you're like TV shows or something, you can watch TV, fine, but you're not interested in making a TV show anymore. You've put that off the list. Like, that's gone. So they're bad. They're bad influence at this point because they're distracting you. They're taking you away from accomplishing the goals you care about more. Now, are you done? No. Cut it in half again. Same rules. Unless you're down to like 1 or 2 things, same rules apply. All right, you got 10, you got 5. Now you bring it down to 3. You got 3. Now you got to bring it down to 1. You accomplish one thing, and the other 2, never again. And that's what you do. You keep doing that, and you keep doing that, and you keep doing it, so you get it really small. Interest division. You divide it away because it forces you to kind of really consult your mental hierarchy that we tend to kind of ignore, you know? So, like, you got to ask yourself those questions.